And that might have been half the appeal, because that made it a really exclusive and exotic material, right? And these are expensive, rich fashion designers designing for expensive prostitutes that are friends of theirs. And then the rich 1%er motherfuckers want to just walk around the city dripping sex, so they start ordering vests and top hats made out of the material, so they can feel the virgin pubes as they wander around the city looking to get laid. The second vessel
I have a hypothesis
heads
on
for
this, but I
France.
haven't confirmed it. It seems like I should be able to find a
heads
historical
from-
account of this. My hypothesis is based on the observation that there are 2 rivers in the Lower Peninsula that are named St. Joseph. I think the French may have taken that and portaged from one to the other to get here before the Iroquois did, before the Mohawk. And so they approached the local tribe. It was at the time the Potawatomi. Potawatomi is keepers of the flame in the Three Fires Alliance of Lower Michigan. And the French conveniently already speak some Algonquian. Of course, all the different Algonquian people have different dialects and everything, but the core is the same, or is it's like Italian and Portugal, you know? So they tell him, they call a council, and they say, look, there's a war party on your back porch, you're going to have a bad time. You're totally justified in a preemptive strike. They pose a clear and present existential danger to you. We brought a bunch of guns. We know where they're camped. You want to help us? And you can imagine, I mean, if someone came to you with that offer, you'd probably, after talking about it, say, yeah, let's go see what this is about. And they do. And the 150 Iroquois warriors were sleeping along the banks of the St. Joe River, I think, over where Menards is. And these French and Potawatomi with 150 guns walk up to them while they're sleeping, put 150 guns to 150 heads, and pull the trigger all at once. That would have been about 1650. And around 1660, you have the Battle of Sault Ste. Marie. Sault Ste. Marie. Where the French and the Haudenosaunee finally drive the Iroquois off from beyond Mackinac, basically. Now, with smallpox, when that hits your town, when it hits your camp, your village, and you're a naive population, so it hits bad. It's the sort of thing where if you walk into the same teepee as someone that has it, you get it. If someone in a teepee dies of it, you have to burn the whole thing. At no point will it be sterile. You can wait 6 months and walk, I mean, at some point it will be, but walk in there and you might still get it. And they don't have the germ theory of disease, so there's all kinds of misinformation and rumors and misunderstandings. But when a village gets hit, I think they just leave the bodies where they are and move on. Leave the village. They don't take anything. You take a blanket, you get smallpox. And this is just before it gets to be weaponized by the Spanish. So smallpox is ripping through. I'm pretty sure the fish aren't swimming. The river is wrecked. Environmental ruin, catastrophe, lawlessness. Okay, piracy. At this point, there's no cops, there's no government. If you want to make some money and you got a band of pirates, you just control the river on both sides at a narrows, wait for some barge to come through, murder whoever's on board, throw them in the woods, they'll never be found, and now that barge is yours. The sheer devastation of this on that 11,000-year-old civilization. The Three Fires Alliance, the Ottawa, Chippewa, and Ojibwe, pack up their things and flee. They go around Lake Michigan, and they found a refugee camp that never goes away. It grows and becomes Madison, Wisconsin. There's no gap between when it was a refugee camp from the Beaver Wars and then it was founded as Madison. The one became the other. But mind you, that water on the, I guess near the Green Bay, that land wasn't unoccupied either. When the now Ojibwe people, it's the same as Chippewa and Ojibwe is the same word, but it shifted with this migration. When the Ojibwe people, I think Ottawa also is part of these people. When the Ojibwe people make this migration, they have horses and they have guns. And the Dakota people living on Lake Michigan, that is Michigan up there, isn't it? I think. No. Yes. I don't know this water well enough for the story I'm telling. They drive the Dakota away from that land, from their native salmon eating space, and force them south and west and expose them to smallpox, which then rips through their community, killing 90%. And of course, the land they moved to wasn't unoccupied. They run into the Lakota people, and then they run into the Nakota people, and this chain reaction exposes all these people to smallpox by 1660, 1670. And it's not until 1806 when Lewis and Clark, coming from the West Coast, roll through the Dakotas and the Sioux people meet their first white man. Which means then that they got the smallpox thing like 1670, and then horses maybe a generation later, and then another 2 generations before they even meet a white person. I think that's where I'm going to wrap it. I'm sure there's a few other weird little anecdotes that managed to slip out of my mind while I was telling it this time, but yeah, 1650 is really where the Beaver War ends. 1660 with the Sault Ste. Marie. I don't know, it's a funny French spelling. And this history isn't really known. Like, as I said, we get LaSalle coming down this river about 20 years later. And I think LaSalle, someone had whispered in LaSalle's ear way out east and said, you know, there's this tribe named Miami, and they like to post up where there's this really cool portage to an entirely different water system. And I think that's what LaSalle was going on when he found this place. Yeah, it's a lost history. It's a prehistory. No one even knows this. Nobody knows this. It freaks me out. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Oh, how much time did I have?